So if you're watching this video, you probably wanted an answer to this question. Why should I get certified? Hi, I'm Dr. Daniel Woodruff. My knee-jerk answer to that is because it's the greatest thing on this planet. This is akin to the Wright brothers with the plane and Marconi with the radio. This healthcare technique will revolutionize the world. Now, many people make many claims similar to mine. The problem with that is when a claim is legitimate, it gets lost in all those that aren't. So let me kind of break down some things for you that might help you make up your mind. But I think before we do, anything should start with my own personal story. See, I was always a child who felt like he was supposed to do great things. I wanted to matter. I wanted the planet Earth to know that Dan Woodruff lived on it. And it wasn't fame in terms of doing wonderful sports things or a television star. No, for me, I wanted to be as great as Aristotle, Archimedes. You get where I'm going. I wanted to contribute something to society that would leave its mark forever. And as I got older and delved into things, and as I started to develop this, my motivations also changed. You see, during my journey, I saw all the things that were in my life that God put there so that one day I'd be sitting here telling you about this wonderful technique. There's many times during the research and experimentation on this when things weren't adding up and I was getting frustrated, there'd be this little voice in my head that would say, try it here, or do this, or look here. And you know what? It would have the answer. That's when I knew that for me, this was bigger than just me. It was about God. It was about doing my Father's work to make his children not be in pain. So it took on a more deep level of wanting to accomplish things. It wasn't about my greatness. It wasn't about the impact that I would have. It was about the fact that God, my Father, would use me to glorify his love and his healing. We're all different. We all have our own motivations. And as I go through some of these, every one does apply to me, as you might find that they apply to you. See, you have the ability to be an innovator, to be on the forefront of change in the healthcare industry. See, we are currently tearing down the pain matrix, a system of healthcare that doesn't get our pain and take it away, but it just improves it slightly. And it keeps us living in a never-ending cycle of pain relief, pain relief, pain relief, but never the elimination. And what makes Vibrate-A-Way so amazing is that it's simple. You don't have to be a doctor or a healthcare worker to do this. You see, I call it the great education myth. Now, this will get a lot of people upset, especially those of us that went through 10 years of college and are up to our ears in student loan debt. But here's the simple fact. The answers that I have found with my neuromuscular resonance technique were all achieved by reading research, reading books, and experimenting. It was not through the formal education system that I went through. You see, licensing and education is a way to keep people out. Remember, previously I've told you that healthcare is an industry. It is an industry that relies on pure economic principles, as all industries do. Supply and demand. If you limit the supply, the demand goes up. And with higher demand, you can charge more. So, if I flood the market with lots of medical personnel, chiropractors, physical therapists, guess what? The fees charged will go down. Supply and demand. We don't like to think of our healthcare that way, but unfortunately, that is what the reality is. And by limiting the flow and by requiring the licensing and the education, what are they doing? Well, one, they're constricting the flow of doctors in, as we've just stated. Two, they're making you toe the company line to propagate the system that is already in existence. Any education is basically giving you a pack of information saying, here, if you want to be one of us, you have to do it this way. This is what you need to believe in, like a club or an organization. Doesn't mean it's right. It just means that's the rules to be a part of that club. See, when you become an industry, you start to lose the personality, the one-on-one contact. How many individual country doctors do you know that are listed on the New York Stock Exchange and are publicly traded, right? But a lot of these big hospital organizations that are swallowing up the individual doctor and bringing them in-house, that is what I call industrialized medicine. See, Vibrate-A-Way isn't that. Vibrate-A-Way is about the person. We're about humanity. Profit will never take priority in Vibrate-A-Way. We are about our fellow man and God. And that is what Vibrate-A-Way is. And that's what Vibrate-A-Way will always be. And isn't that revolutionary nowadays? Where an industry doesn't really care about the money that they can put in their shareholders' pockets or the individual officers' products or pockets, but instead they want to please God and to give people abundance back in their life. That's what we're about. See, healthcare relies on a customer base that is unwell. Demand will go down if people get better. So when innovation of a product or a service is brought about in healthcare, it has to meet two criteria. And those criteria are this. One, is it viable? Does it work? Will it work? Can we implement it in our system? And two, is it profitable? That's what industrialized healthcare does now. See, Vibrate-A-Way has two criteria too. One, is it viable? Can we do this? Can we make it a part of the system? And the second thing, is it God-pleasing? And does it help humanity? That's it. So, not only is Vibrate-A-Way changing what it is in healthcare and how healthcare should be applied, but we're also changing the culture of a company. I wrote these down. See, we want to change the vibrational harmony of the mind, body, and soul and everybody that we come in contact with as a client, but also as one of our team members. See, we are a collective of individuals where a person's opinion matters, that you have autonomy to do things the way you want, With the NMRT technique, you can charge whatever you want, do it whenever you want, do it wherever you want. Those are your decisions. See, we also want to be generous with our abundance financially. See, we're a company where there is something called enough. We don't have shareholders, nor will we ever. We believe that a company is only as strong as its members. And if our members aren't abundant, then we aren't. It is about the collective whole, raising our vibrational level of harmony, of love, and of abundance. Not about how much the members of the board are going to make. When we look at innovators, I always love to look back at history. See, innovation can be hard. You're bucking a system that doesn't want changed. Henry Ford. We all know Henry Ford, the Model A, the Model T. And they asked Henry Ford, and I absolutely love this. They asked Henry Ford, did you consult with people and ask them what it is they wanted? And he chuckled and he said, no. Had I asked the people what they wanted, they would have told me they wanted faster horses. See, there's a man who was seeing ahead, looking ahead, and knowing that opinion would be fighting him. See, he was in a transportation matrix. People liked their horses. They liked the buggies, the coaches. They didn't want change. They would say that these machines would blow up, they'd cause fires, all the horrific things that could happen. The negative what ifs that an innovator hears all the time. And for those of you thinking about starting this journey and you begin to talk to somebody, they will give you the negative what ifs. They want faster horses with their coaches. They don't want this new horseless carriage that could explode. You might die. Right? George Washington Carver. Crop rotation. One of the biggest innovations in agriculture. So to tell somebody that they had to change their fields, leave a field fallow so the nutrients can come back in, you know what they saw? They saw that they would be losing out on profits by not planting on this field that would lay fallow. What? How stupid is that? See, a consensus doesn't mean correct. Consensus just means lots of people think that way. And thought can be controlled by those who have the largest platform. Singer. Isaac Singer and Elias Howe. Now, we all probably know Isaac Singer, the Singer sewing machine. But Elias Howe created one and got his patent before Isaac Singer. So they tend to both get credit for the Singer sewing machine. But imagine them trying to promote a sewing machine. Back in the 1840s, mind you, pre-Civil War, to women who at that time only done it by hand. Are you kidding? They would be like, but I do it with love, and it wouldn't be as fine in detail, and all the objections that could come. And the fear of using a machine. And the fear of not having that control. And the last innovator I want to talk about is Nikola Tesla. My lights are on, but I pay for that. Tesla didn't want that. With alternate current, AC, we all could have grabbed electric out of the air for free. But see, people wanted profit. Westinghouse dropped Tesla as being a big backer of him because he wouldn't turn it into profit. See, Tesla was more concerned about humanity. He was an innovator. Be the change. Lead the change. I don't know about you, but for me, being 1 out of 200,000 is meaningless to me. That's approximately how many chiropractors are out there, if not more. I wanted to stand out. I wanted to lead the change. I wanted to be the person to say, the emperor wears no clothes, but I have a solution. Maybe you're just like that. If so, Vibrate-A-Way's for you. The next one is making a difference. You know, we all would like to make a difference in this world. You want to know that your existence here mattered. How many billion of people are on this planet? We get lost in the shuffle. We end up doing a job. And we look at it and we say, you know what? If I left there tomorrow, they'd have somebody else there standing in my spot doing the same thing. Do I really matter? And see, to me, that's one of the most horrific things to have to feel in somebody's life, is I don't matter. And a lot of us have that yearning to know that we matter. One of the biggest thrills I received happened to me last night. My friend and brother in Kenya, Anthony, had worked on an old lady in Kenya who she couldn't even get out of her chair. She was in so much pain. And after one treatment of the NMRT, she got up and moved. Yesterday, he called me, and he was at her house. And she personally thanked me. This is a woman I didn't know, halfway across the globe. But because I was put on this planet, and the Lord revealed this technique to me to research, to perfect, this woman's life was better. And after that phone call, after he worked on her, he sent me pictures of her then leaving her house on her own power. I knew I mattered. Even if it's just one person. What I did in the past 10 years of my life led to a woman who I didn't know halfway across the globe having a better life because of something I did. I matter. And if I achieved nothing else in this world, that made a difference. And we all want that. We want to know we matter. And Vibrate-A-Way, you'll have those experiences and more. You know you matter. Because you will be giving people something that the current system can't give them. Hope. Pain-free. That matters. I want to read a poem. And it's very big poem to me in terms of how I viewed my life. And it's entitled, I Wanted to Change the World. When I was a young man, I wanted to change the world. I found that it was difficult to change the world, so I tried to change my nation. When I found I couldn't change my nation, I began to focus on my town. And when I couldn't change my town, I I tried to change my family. But as I got older and wiser, I realized the only thing I could change was myself. Then I realized if I changed myself, I could have an impact on my family. My family and I then could have an impact on our town. And the town's impact could change the nation. And then I will have changed the world. See, true impact isn't just an attempting change. It's an embodying the change that we wish to see. First, matter to yourself. Make those differences, make those changes by changing your life. And from that, change your family and those around you. And before you know it, just like me, half a globe away, you will have changed the world. When we talk about changing the world, there are things that just aren't about the Vibrate-A-Way technique. See, one, standard of living. We don't think about these things. People in other parts of the country, of other parts of the world have to work so much harder than we, with far less. They don't have the creature comforts that we might have. And their pain and their limitations have a bigger impact on them than they might us. It could affect them securing food. It could affect them securing all the necessities of life that they have to do. And it's harder for them than us. We can also help with our abundance financially. In a lot of these parts of the world, water is a problem, poverty is a problem. You see, Vibrate-A-Way is starting with vibrational health approaches. But that's just a start. I am wanting to raise the vibrational resonance of the world so that those without water matter. Everybody deserves to have clean drinking water. Those who are in hunger shall not be hungry. See, what we can do with this technique, with the services we provide, is to provide abundance financially, and from there we can raise the vibrational levels of other places in the world. It's not just changing the world or making a difference or being an innovator in just the technique or healthcare. It's about how we approach the world, how we approach each other. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. We can change the world many ways. And Vibrate-A-Way can help open that up. So let's talk about the economic opportunities. See, with many jobs, you're in a pay structure. You do X amount of work, this is what you get. Now, you might get more if you have a bonus, but they'll limit how often you work and how much you can make. What if, just say what if, you could have the freedom to do something, charge as much as you want or as little as you want, to work as often as you want or as infrequent as you want, to work wherever you want, in your home, in a storefront, go to other people's homes. What if you had the opportunity to have that much ability to control your economics? It's quite intoxicating. See, you're not relying on other people's abilities to direct a company, to direct an organization, a small company, small business. If the owner or if the management makes a bad decision, you suffer. You suffer. or to be locked in a time, to be told that you have X amount of days off. What if you had the freedom to change all of that? You can. Just to use an example, if you did a session of NMRT and you decided to charge $50 and you saw 20 people in a week, now mind you, it takes about 15 to 20 minutes each session, and you only did 20 people, that's $1,000 a week. And that's 4 hours of work, or 5 hours of work, pardon me. 5 hours of work in a week and make $1,000. That ain't bad. That's not bad at all. But you know what? We go back to the freedom and control. See, you have the ability to free up the rest of your life. Think about it. How much does our occupation occupy our life? I know that when I was basically doing fee for service, and I could only charge so much, because mind you, health insurance can dictate fees. So I didn't have that freedom. The fee I got paid was what the insurance company would pay, and only that. So I had to do X amount and so long of a time. And so on days off, I would be beat up because I had to work so often. I had to do so much, or I'd rest up. I lost the freedom of other parts of my life. On nice days, I'd be stuck inside. And then on my 2 days off a week, it would be rainy. How many of that happens to you, right? But with this, not only do you have freedom with your occupation, you have the freedom for your entire life. If you want to go, I don't know, to another state, spend 3 to 4 weeks there, you can. You can control your output. You can control your finances. Vibrate-A-Way allows you to have that financial freedom. And finally, self-fulfillment. You know, there's a big difference between a career and a job. And I would say a career contains passion and enthusiasm. You love what you do. A job is an activity that you do to generate income. Doesn't matter if you're into it or not. You just do the labor. One of the things that I've really been blessed with is I have seen many multimillionaires and actually a few billionaires in my practice. And being the candid fellow that I am, I always felt free and at liberty to ask them, what's your secret? And, you know, they all basically had one answer in common. And here's what it was. I love what I do. I would have done it for free. I got lucky. I got a break. And now I have all this money. But that's not why I'm doing it. Now, I would argue with them that luck is nothing more than opportunity meeting hard work. But they were so involved with the passion of their career and what they were doing, they didn't even realize the opportunity it meant hard work. They were just doing it. And that's what I feel with Vibrate-A-Way. And I know that's what you can feel. To be able to build a personal relationship with someone as you're making their life better, providing them with something that no one else has been able to do except you. And to know that their life is better because they knew you. Now that's fulfilling. That's a good day of work. And you can have that. So whatever your reason might be, I know that Vibrate-A-Way could be an opportunity that can provide that for you. It can be as much as you want it to be, or it could be as little as you want it to be. It could be a side hustle, or it could be the main part of your income. And what's so nice about this is whether it's learning the certification process or getting certified and actually doing this, you don't have to quit your job. You can do it on the side until you build up clientele, until you get comfortable and you're like, yes, this is what I want. And then you can get to a point where you can leave your job and it will actually free you up to make more money, to be more fulfilled, to be more content, to have a bigger impact. This isn't one of these, you must leave this job to do this job. Again, that's old Matrix way of thinking. No, no, no. This is learn how to do something amazing. Change the world. Change yourself first. Get fulfillment and enjoy life by helping others enjoy theirs. That's why you should get certified. What do you think?